Coming at you live from Skeleton City. Today's video, we're going to be asking ChatGPT if it understands the skeleton pyramid. Hi ChatGPT, what tier of the skeleton pyramid will I lose weight the fastest in?
Hey there, you'll lose weight the fastest in tier 1 for sure. That's the tier that's super low in fat and protein, focusing on fruits, veggies, and juices, which really helps maximize fat loss.
Okay, but will I lose muscle in tier 1?
If you stay in tier 1 for a really long time without enough protein, you might lose a bit of muscle over time. It's all about balance. So if maintaining muscle is a big priority, you'll want to make sure you're getting enough protein and maybe some strength training in there as well.
Okay. What if I'm super fat? Like, what if I'm obese and have, 100 or 200 pounds to lose? Then will I still lose muscle in tier 1?
If you have a significant amount of weight to lose, you might be able to stay in tier 1 longer without worrying too much about losing muscle, especially if you have a lot of stored energy for your body to use. But eventually, it's still important to make sure you get enough nutrients and protein to maintain that muscle mass, especially if you're doing any kind of exercise along the way.
Okay, what tier should I be in if I want to, build muscle and add more lean tissue on?
If building muscle is your goal, then tier 3 is definitely the way to go. That tier includes lean proteins and a bit of healthy fats, which will give your body the building blocks it needs to add that lean muscle and keep you strong.
Okay, so can I lose weight on tier 3?
Absolutely. You can still lose weight on tier 3. It just might happen a bit more gradually compared to tier 1. The added protein and a bit of healthy fat will help maintain your muscle mass, which is actually great for your metabolism and can support sustainable fat loss in the long run.
Okay, do you think I should stay in tier 1 for an extended period of time, or should I, switch back and forth between the tiers?
It really depends on your goals and how you're feeling. Some people do well with staying in tier 1 for a while if they have a lot of weight to lose, but it can also be really beneficial to switch back and forth between the tiers. That way, you get the best of both worlds. You can focus on fat loss during tier 1 and now make sure you're maintaining muscle and overall health during tier 3. It can help keep you balanced and feeling good. Just listen to your body and find the approach that feels sustainable and enjoyable for you. And if you ever have more questions, I'm always here to help.
Okay, so you heard it here, folks. Basically, this is kind of what I always said. Tier 1 is the bone zone for a reason, because it's a bare bones approach to the diet, which is fruit, juice, sugar, vegetables. There's not many options for you to eat. Whereas tier 2, you add starches. Tier 3, you add a little bit of fat and protein. I've said this a million times, but my wife and I when we first started our weight loss journey, we started in tier 3, and we did lose weight there. But as we climbed the tiers, we saw the weight loss speed up. So really, you need to customize the skeleton pyramid for yourself. You need to find the correct approach that works for you. I really like cycling and running and skateboarding. Like, I never cared to build a lot of muscle. I like to be light. That's just my preference. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just my preference. And if somebody wants to have more muscle than me, that's obviously a very healthy way to live as well. But basically, like ChatGPT confirmed, the heavier you are, the longer you can go in tier 1. My wife and I both started tier 1 the same day, and until I broke my collarbone, that's when I opted out of tier 1. I'm in tier 3 now. She's still in tier 1. So on Earth, my wife is now the longest living candidate for being in tier 1. She's been there. I don't know exactly when we started it. Probably like 3 months ago. It's been months. So she's been months in tier 1. Has she lost any muscle mass? I mean, it's hard to tell. It's not like we go and get our like body fat percentage or we get like DEXA scans or whatever. We don't get these things like tested, but she seems to be doing fine. She still does her Zwift rides. Her power on the bike is still great. So it's not like she's lethargic or, feeling terrible in tier 1. She still feels great in tier 1. Another thing though, tier 1, and I'll show the food list, tier 1 contains tons of different fat-free foods. But as far as protein goes, that's going to vary, If you're just drinking soda, that's 0 grams of protein. That's not anything that my wife does. She always does a vegetable dinner at night, and she doesn't care what vegetables she's using in regards to protein amounts. So, she has mushrooms and vegetables with, a little bit more protein, and that's how she's always eaten. So maybe she's gotten more protein than somebody that just, eats straight candy or, drinks straight soda for 30 days or something like that. She's always had enough protein that she feels good and continues to lose weight. That's always been, her approach to it. So I think if you are going to be in tier 1 for an extended period of time, you need to figure out what foods are going to work best for you and your protein needs. But also, like ChatGPT says, you can lose weight in tier 3. So doing maybe a few days in tier 1 and then throw in a tier 3 day, and then a few days in tier 1, throw in a tier 3 day, or maybe a week in tier 1 and 3 days tier 3, or whatever. You got to find the approach that works best for you. It's kind of a lot like, Mark Bell's smelly protocol, how he does sugar fast for like 2 or 3 days, and then basically a day of tier 3 or whatever, a lean protein or whatever he's having on those protein days. And then he goes back to sugar fasting. So call that a yo-yo diet or call it whatever you want. I think that's a great approach for a lot of people because, you get that rapid weight loss and then you have a more, maintenance day. You get that rapid weight loss and you have a more maintenance day. Alternating back and forth. Or you can be like what we originally did. Before we ever learned about coal or sugar diet or sugar fasting and all that, what we did, and we didn't have a name for it at the time because there was no skeleton city, skeleton pyramid, we just did tier 3. That's what we did. Tier 3, we kept it a low-fat diet with a little bit of protein and mainly carbohydrates. That's what we did. That was our version of tier 3, and we were in that for a long time, and we lost weight there. So yes, you can absolutely lose weight in tier 3. It's just tier 1 is going to get you the fastest results. Why is that? Kind of what I said the other day. It's like the skeleton pyramid's kind of like the flavor pyramid. The bottom, tier 4, it's the most flavors. Then tier 3, then tier 2. Tier 1, there's no flavors. There's no textures. There's no fun. Tier 1 is the least fun tier of all the tiers. Anybody that says tier 1 is the most fun, they're lying to you. There is no way that eating just fruit, juice, sugar, vegetables is more fun than eating tier 4. Donuts, cakes, pizzas, nachos, burritos, all those foods are obviously going to be way more fun to eat. So why will you lose the most weight in tier 1? Well, honestly, because it's the most boring tier. And eventually you're probably just going to get sick of eating fruit, juice, sugar, vegetables. So yeah, it looks like the skeleton pyramid is easy enough to understand, even ChatGPT. All we did was send an image of the skeleton pyramid to ChatGPT and it read it and it read the little text on the side and it understands it pretty well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, my friends, stay bony.